Okay, welcome back. Like I said, if you did see me doing my little my opinion doesn't matter on the speech from Donald Trump the other day, I'm still in the same clothes because I just did that video about 10-15 minutes ago, and so I wanted to get this next video up and out, and this video is on taxes and minimum wage. Folks, I really want you to start thinking out there. Okay, I don't know. There's a reason why there's people who are in business, and there's people who work, and there's reasons why people who work can sometimes move up into management and do other things, and then there's some that just never can. It's not a knock on anybody that's in those positions whatsoever, but sometimes some people lack certain abilities or understanding of things to be able to achieve more and do more. Sometimes it can be there may be outside circumstances, but a lot of times, most of the time, it's not outside circumstances. Most of the times, it's the people in the positions and what their abilities are. Now, that said, let's talk about minimum wage for just a moment. And if you've seen any of videos of mine in the past, some of you may have seen some of this same information. And if so, I'm sorry. But I know that I don't get a million views, so this will be hopefully new information to some people. But if you want $15 an hour, let me give you a little bit of the idea of why you shouldn't get that, and a little bit of the idea of why that's the most foolish thing I've ever heard of. First of all, the people that I see out here that are trying to get this $15 an hour are people who work in the like the food service industries, like the restaurants, McDonald's, Burger Kings, and stuff like that. And I'm sure there's some other people that are outside of that want the same thing. But let me talk to you just a minute, first of all, about those of the people that are in the food service industry. And I'm going to probably hurt your feelings, and I'm sorry, but this is the truth that I see. I go up to almost any fast food restaurant or anything, and I place an order, and first of all, it takes them forever. They can't really understand what my order is. Then when I do say it, they can't get it right when they plug it in, and then they plug it in, and then I go to the window and I pay for it, and then when I get my bag, I can't give these exact stats, but I swear like 9 out of 10 times what I get from an order is wrong. There's either items I didn't order in there, or I'm missing items, or I've asked for, I've asked for extra cheese on something, and they can't get the extra cheese right, and it's just crazy. They can't do these things properly. And this is at minimum wage or a little bit above minimum wage. Now, if you want more than minimum wage, then you should be producing more than minimum wage efforts. If you don't want that minimum wage job, then don't take that minimum wage job. And don't tell me, well, it's the only job out there, I got to take what I got to take. Well, even if that's true, if you took that job, you knew what it paid, and you accept it. Because here, you want $15 an hour and you can't get my order right. I have worked hard and worked my way into management in almost every single job I had because I did things the right way, and I understood business, and so I could go into the next step up. When you want $15 an hour, here's what your $15 an hour will do to you and everybody else out here. You get $15 an hour. The price of all that food in that restaurant has to go up. It has to go up. You say, well, you don't care. That's fine. You need your $15 an hour to make a livable wage. Well, it doesn't work that way. When the price of that food goes up, then for the other people who aren't working in that industry come in there, it becomes tougher on them. And then you start to get this downward effect, or this domino effect. Now everybody else's wages have to go up just to afford the higher prices. And when their wages go up, their products go up, and then within a very short period of time, that $15 an hour isn't worth any more than it was when it was $8 an hour. It creates a natural inflation. That $15 an hour will not benefit you when you get it. And then you look at all these companies now that are worried about this $15 an hour minimum wage. They're putting in more electronic systems. They're putting in self-service order systems and stuff like that. What they're doing is they're eliminating jobs just to try to cover this minimum wage. And so you're gonna cost people jobs instead of helping people. And the ones that are there that end up getting the increased money to the higher minimum wage will end up being back in the same boat that they were a short while down the road, because again, inflation will make that $15 only worth what $8 is. When we start giving $7 and $6 for a burger, you'll find it's crazy. Okay, so that's it. First of all, forget the $15 an hour. If you want a better wage, then go out and find a way to make a better wage. Go to a different company, go work in a factory, go do something that, or go into business for yourself, so that way you can learn how expensive $15 an hour is. I had a small transport company for a little while, and before I had my own, I managed one. We could barely pay our people. I think we started people out, I believe, at, I want to say $9 an hour, and some people got up to $10 an hour, and that's all we could afford. Literally all we could afford. And we had, I don't know how many people, I want to say we had 15 or 20 people working for us at one point in time, and we were barely getting by, because the money that they paid us to do the transportation wasn't enough to pay anybody any more money. If they'd have come across with a $15 an hour minimum wage while we were in business, our doors would have closed, and the 15 or 20 people that we had working for us would have been out of a job. Now, for those of you that are doing the working for the money, I know that doesn't matter to you. You don't mind that the company has to go out of business. That's their problem. Well, their problem becomes your problem when there's no jobs out there for you to go to work for. Minimum wage a minimum wage job is not meant to be your living income. A minimum wage job is an entry-level position for you to have a job when you're a young person trying to get by, trying to make a little money between school or through school. It's not meant to support you. It's meant to get you by while you learn how to be an employee, and maybe learn some management skills and move up even into management, where you can make a little bit more money and better yourself. But the minimum wage job is entry level, or it's also for seniors who, they're just looking for a little way to supplement their income. Like I'd like to go to work for a fast food restaurant or something to try to supplement my income. I'm on disability right now, and it's not enough for me to make a living. My disability is not a living wage, but it's not meant to be. And I don't expect them to say, hey, give me $3,000 a month so I can make a living. Baloney. That's not what disability is for, and it's not what it was designed for. It's not what Social Security was designed for. They're supplemental incomes, and you need to do other things to supplement that. So get off this idea of what your minimum wage should do for you. And now my time is getting short, so I got only a short time to do the taxes portion. Taxes. People, when you hear our president or other people talking about trying to lower taxes on big business, quit complaining and saying big business gets all the tax breaks and the little guy is stuck suffering paying for all the taxes. Tax them big guys more. Folks, wake up. If I'm producing pens and it costs me 50 cents a pen to produce, but I want to make $1 when I sell that pen, I put the pen on the market and I sell it for $1.50. Now, if you come in and you charge me tax on that, and you say, well, I'm going to charge you 50 cents tax on every pen you sell. People can go, woohoo, your business is having to pay the taxes. Yeah, well, guess what? I got to pay 50 cents for taxes, but my pen no longer is $1.50. My pen is $2. So now you tell me who is paying the taxes. Not me. The consumer pays the taxes. Every time you increase taxes on business, it ends up being brought down to the consumer. Now, I will tell you that, yes, these big corporate people make bukus of money, but it's really minimal when you look at it versus the tax, the amount of taxes and stuff that are coming in. Yes, I mean, I don't care how much money they're making. Number one, they've earned it. They found a way to grow and make that money. They have earned it. They started out from wherever they started out. Some of them started their fresh businesses and grew their business into multi-million-dollar businesses. Look at Bill Gates. Look at Steve Jobs, and even Carnegie. I believe he started out with nothing and came to and built a big steel business. And then when he built that business, he ended up having tons of money. And Bill Gates is one of the richest men in the world. But he started the company and he built it on the backs of other people. But he did it because he was smart enough and he knew what he was doing. He earned it. He worked for it and he earned it. He knew how to do the system to make it work for himself. So if you want that kind of benefit, go out here and work the system. There are ways for you to make money on your own. The problem is most people are not capable of running their own business. And I'm sorry, you can down me for that all you want. But there's a reason why there are employees and there is management and then there's company owners. There are reasons for that. Now, you can better yourself. You can make yourself better. You can turn yourself into a manager. You can turn yourself into a company owner. But if you do those things, you have to learn to do them right, and you have to pay attention. Because if you don't, if you go in there with an employee attitude or an employee line of thinking, you're not going to make it. Because in management, you can't make it unless you manage. And managing is not the same as being an employee. Taxes always come down to the consumer. Remember that. Taxes always come down to the consumer. The business makes the product or the service, and they sell that product or service to you. But in that product or service is the idea of what my costs are, which include the building, the rent, and everything else, but it also includes taxes. If I use the pen example again, if I'm making pens and it costs me 50 cents to make a pen, if you charge me 50 cents for every pen I sell, then the cost of making that pen is no longer 50 cents. The cost of making that pen is $1. And then whatever the profit is that I want to make on that, I top that on top of what my costs are. So the taxes, although I may write the check for those taxes, the taxes come down to the consumer. If you ask me, business should pay the least amount of taxes because business is hiring people to go to work for them and increasing the workforce. That's where the tax breaks should go. Not because I want some fat cat to get fatter, but because I want that fat cat to provide work for the rest of the population out there. So wake up, people. Quit running your mouth about things that you don't really understand. Quit thinking that a $15 an hour minimum wage is going to be a living wage that's going to help you. I almost wish they'd never invented the minimum wage. Because it's been corrupted from what it was originally designed to be. Go look up minimum wage. If you're really interested, look up at the start of minimum wage and why it was started. Because it was started to benefit people who were being taken advantage of. Okay? But now it's gotten out of hand. Now instead of it benefiting the people or the worker, now it's designed to hurt the company. Now you're hurting the big business. You're hurting even small home mom and pop businesses, because mom and pop businesses, you start a small business, you can't pay $15 an hour as a minimum wage. And if you do, you're not going to make any money. You won't be able to produce your product or your service at a rate that's cost effective enough to provide that service. And then if you can find a way for people to start paying for your service at the higher rate, then other people are going to have more money. And again, it just creates a downward spiral, and everything goes up. And then suddenly that $15 an hour is equal to or less than the $8 an hour that people are making now. So leave me some comments, get mad at me, tell me how dumb I am, tell me I don't understand economics, whatever it is you want to do, but talk to me. Tell me give me your thoughts. Thank you. Until later, God bless.